Welcome to the TF2 News Blast. I can't believe it, there's been an update, it's just released and no one's talked about it yet. It's just so awesome. No one's even talked about it yet. Feck my life. Hey guys, how's it going? The Blue Moon update is upon us, as people are branding it. Very awesome stuff. Obviously, I'm the very last person in the whole of the TF2 community to talk about this, but you know, after having a read and playing around with it, I thought I do have a few thoughts to share with you guys. Nothing crazy, but just a few things I wanted to chat to you guys about. So yeah, I know the title of this is a touch clickbaity, sure, but by doing a little list like this, it helps me structure the video, keeps it really concise. So I find this like a really good system for me, but it's also, I think, more digestible. And today I'm going to be talking about basically the things that impact my gameplay a lot. So yeah, just bear in mind that these are the things that I'm really excited about, things that I hope will be affecting my gameplay a lot. And I put some footage in the background, some nice fresh footage, and throughout this you'll see a little bit of the new changes to the Mercenary Park map as well, so keep an eye out for those. One last thing before we jump in, this is my Discord. It's growing, it's beautiful, there are lots of people in it who do the talking. They do all of the texty talking to each other, it's blimmin' amazing. Please join, if you fancy it. Also, this is my Twitter. Again, it's a bit like the Discord thing, but just one person talking. The most important person, if you ask me. Okay? Very modest. Any other links you want in the description below, take a look, there's lots of stuff down there. So let's jump in, the top bestest 10 things that I'm excited about in this latest update. Number 10. I'm not going to do that every time, I promise, okay? I apologise. Now some of these are going to be super quick, just a very quick mention, and some of them are going to a bit more depth. But number 10, the Stickybomb cancelling. Just a little side note that was, buried in all the patch notes. This is something I have noticed in the past. I've actually created a habit for myself. Whenever I'm doing either a 2 sticky bomb sticky jump, or whenever I'm putting down a humongous trap, I kind of make sure I don't put the same sticky on top of each other, because I've definitely noticed that, especially with the jumping scenario, one of them just sort of disappearing into the ether. So it's just a nice little patch, it's a nice little fix for me, and obviously it's more relevant for me because I'm a demo main, don't you know? Number 9, queuing while playing. Now, I'm not mega excited about this because I tend to play casual and the queue lengths don't tend to be that mental for casual unless you're choosing a very specific map. But if they're going to be making cool changes to competitive, maybe the queues will be a bit longer for that, and I know right now they are broken, but we'll get to that in a second. So for that reason, I think, yeah, this could be a really nice little change, a nice little quality of life change that makes the whole experience a bit more fluid. Number 8 for me is the short circuit, so I had to throw this in somewhere. I've only whipped it out once and shot it around a bit. That's definitely going to be quoted in the comment section below. Again, I won't go into massive depth on this one. I'm pretty sure Mr. Dane boy, he'll probably cover this. But I like the fact that it was quite a significant change, a substantial change to the gun. They didn't go, oh, shall we just tweak, the damage it does by 3%, that'll fix it. No, they went, you know what, let's rework this. That makes me happy because some weapons do, I think, need reworking or scrapping entirely, and this was evidently one of them. The only thing that confuses me slightly is that they still have the left click. I feel like they could remove that and just make it all about those big juicy orbs that float through the sky. But in terms of is it overpowered? Is it any good? I don't really know. I've just seen it in action, played around with it very briefly, but I guess time will tell. Number 7, only vote for the same map types. I've written down here. What a beauty. I don't think that needs any more discussion than that. It's a lovely little change, okay? When I'm loving the payload and then everyone votes for 2-4, makes me feel bad, man. Okay then, moving on again. Number 6, the changes to Mercenary Park. As I said, you're going to be seeing some of these in the background in this footage. I felt there were problems with this map, especially trying to capture that last point. It was absolutely painful. So you've got the bottom main route through, which is an absolute death wish. So most of the time you tend to go the top route. What they've done is really kind of worked with that top route. They've added a little broken bit of glass on the way through so you can peek through if you're a sniper or what have you. And also, the crazy vents at the far left, which no one really uses? They've added another route that goes all the way around now. So before it could get you to the kind of back left corner, but now they've added another secret passage behind the point that gets you approximately to the back right hand corner. So why not? Together all these things will help a lot. And of course, they don't let you build on those flipping boxes anymore, which was the standard position for all engineers. So I'm kind of cool with that. Anyway, let's move on to number 5. I secretly want to make this my number 1. You can now make your damage numbers different colours. Oh dear, praise the Lord. Praise the Lord, you have blessed us with damage number colouring. Thank you for blessing us. There's a few reasons why this is awesome. Number one, the most common question I get is, "Oh, Toofty, how do you change your damage number colour?" So that's going to be an easy one to answer now. Anyone can do it, easy. Pop into advanced settings, jobs are good. But also it just means it's great because you don't have to fiddle about with custom files and stuff. Generally speaking, anything that allows the user to completely bypass the console or fiddling around with custom files is a great thing. Players shouldn't have to do that, and they definitely shouldn't have to do it for simple things like this that absolutely benefit your gameplay. But yeah, the only thing I wish they had now was the size of the numbers, but I don't want to get too picky, I'm just saying. Number 4 and stuff. So number 4, auto balance changes. Oh, that's lovely, isn't it? Now I spend a lot of my time in casual matches, and the moment a casual match is not balanced, it's much more difficult to have fun. So I'm trying to make this video all about my opinions rather than me listing out the changes, but very briefly, they've made it so it's quicker, so it will auto balance quicker. It will select the best candidates. I don't really know what that means. Maybe it's based on your rank and how much there is an imbalance between the two teams. It will first ask for volunteers, and if not, it will auto switch after death. Personally, I'd still kind of like the ability to volunteer. Do you know what I mean? Like, it will only ask a subset of players, say 3 to 4 or whatever. I'm always up for doing it because I know that so few people are. But that being said, now you'll get forced to switch anyway. So yeah, that should be all good. It's a really good change, and all they need to do now is bring back Team Scramble, and then we're back to where we started. Jobs are good. But yeah, can't wait to see those people in the comments who have been switched, moaning and whinging because they were winning and now they're losing. Number 3, so we're getting to the top 3 here, guys. Are you excited about my top 3? I bet you blimmin' are. The Dragon's Fury nerf. Praise the actual Lord. Now, I know it's only a tweak really, it's about the hitboxes, but this, along with the flamethrower changes in general, I think should be a good thing. Personally speaking, I found it very difficult to tell if the Dragon's Fury was overpowered. Directly after the update, there were so many pyros around, you were just constantly dying by pyro, it was difficult to tell. It was a chaos, the environment wasn't a natural one. But as the numbers started to die down, I don't know, again, I find it really difficult to judge these things. Personally speaking, I have a problem with the weapon anyway, because it's about burst damage and those quick shots. It stops feeling like a flamethrower, do you know what I mean? It gets very close to a shotgun. Anyway, I'm pleased about the nerf, I'm pretty sure it needed one. But this leads on nicely to number 2, which is the flamethrower changes in general. So just very quickly, the changes they've made. It ramps up based on the density, i.e. imagine a flat circle of flame hitting the enemy. If, say, a tiny portion of that is just clipping the side of the enemy, it doesn't do much damage. If a large portion of that is hitting the enemy, it does a lot of damage. It makes complete sense. The initial damage is less as well, so if you're just spraying and praying, you sort of clip a few people, you're not going to do a crazy amount of damage. So essentially, it's raising the skill floor and the skill ceiling for the class, which I think is an awesome change, and I'm excited to see what effect this has on the class. I think they could go further with this, I really do. Why not increase the skill ceiling further and make it so, if you get that pinpoint tracking, you can do way more damage. Whereas if you're just flinging it around with not much thought, you do way less damage. I think there could be a huge kind of range of damage dealt depending on how good you are with the weapon, and I think that would be really cool. And I'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments below, as always. But just a quick note on the pyro. With the update, they were trying to give the pyro more ability to do burst damage, which in hindsight, I'm not a big fan of because it's just not what the pyro is about. The pyro is literally about damage over time. It's about tracking. It's about air blasting and other stuff too, don't get me wrong, but the moment you try and make him do damage immediately in a short burst, he just gets a little bit close to like a shotgun, and it kind of defeats the object. So I don't know, it's a tricky one, and I don't know what the answer is. I think these changes are helping, but as I said before, I'm just not a fan of the Dragon's Fury, I don't think, and it's a shame because it was the biggest thing to come out of the update. But anyway, moving on to number 1, of course, there's no surprises here, the casual and competitive matchmaking overhaul. Now, a little caveat here, it's completely broken at time of recording this. With the assumption it will be fixed, this will obviously be incredibly awesome. So yeah, they've added the Glyco system, a bit like CSGO, both for the casual game and of course for competitive. This should pretty substantially change the game, I would have thought. I even thought I started to notice it in my recent games of casual where there were a lot of good players and like medics on both teams, and it was like a really awesome game, and I was really confused and I was like, is it already working? One thing that I'm a tiny bit concerned about, and that's been touched upon in some other videos I looked at, was the idea of, will I never be in a casual server with complete noobs again? Because I kind of like that. Not necessarily so I can like pub stomp or what have you. It's because some of the funniest parts of TF2 are like bumping into a completely new player and then just sort of obliviously walking around like off a ledge or something. It would be a shame not to see that anymore, and I know of course you could go into community servers, but all the community servers I find with good ping seem to be a little bit mental and have crazy adverts and stuff. I'm sure there are some nice vanilla ones out there. Still, I just like clicking that casual button, it's so easy. Obviously there's not going to be 23 other people of my exact ability on the game at any one time. So what I'm hoping they do is, there's 2 people of this level on each team, there's 2 or 3 people roughly at this second level on both teams, and so on and so forth. So basically the teams are balanced, right? That's the main thing. But there's still on each team a nice range of abilities. And I guess they kind of have to do that because there just aren't enough players to make every single player the exact same rank or what have you. Anyway, I'm sure it'll be fine. To be honest, you have just as much fun when you bump into like a veteran of TF2 and you bounce into each other and you just sit there and start staring at each other and then doing a little dance. Why the flip not? But finally, competitive. Like I said, no one's really had a chance to play this yet. Obviously there's something wrong there, so I look forward to them fixing that, and then I'll jump into my 10 placement games, see where I get ranked, and then maybe in some of my streams in the future, we can play some competitive TF2. I know, should be fun. Anyway guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. There are a few things I didn't mention, like some of the smaller weapon tweaks. If I didn't mention them, it's because either I don't use those weapons much, or I don't play that class, or I think they're very minor and they don't excite me very much. As for the cosmetics, in case you're interested, big fan of the Robin Walkers, the Cold Case, the Aristotle is freaking awesome, and the Hot Case. Weirdly, I like the Hot Case a lot, I don't know why. Anyway guys, I hope you enjoyed this video, and to finish off, we're going to open a couple of Blue Moon cases, just for fun, because why not? Celebrate the update. I'll speed through those, and I hope you enjoy. Thanks for watching chaps, and I'll see you guys in the next one.